Very good morning. Today we are going to discuss first chapter. That's a unit one, diversity in the living world. Okay, it's a chapter one, the living world. Then in this, whatever the important key points are there that we are going to discuss first. Whatever the organism living, we already discussed this chapter with the help of some slides. Okay, what is a living? I already explained for you. In living, very important key term is a growth. Then what do you mean by growth? Growth is what? Increase in mass. Growth is what? Increase in mass. Not only increase in mass, how what mass increases? Because of cell division. Plants, division occurs continuously. In animals, up to certain age the division occurs, because in human beings up to 21 age what cell division or what growth occurs, but in plants, okay, division occurs continuously up to death. Then division also enables to replace lost cells. ಓಕೆ, ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಸತ್ತೋದಂತಹ ಜೀವಕೋಶಗಳನ್ನು ರಿಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೊಸ ಹೊಸ ಜೀವಕೋಶಗಳು ಹುಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಶ ವಿಭಜನೆ, ಸೆಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಯುನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ನಂಬರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಯುನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಒಂದೊಂದಾಗಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಹೊಂದೋದು, ಹೌದಾ, ಸೆಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಮಾಸ್. ಹೌದಾ, ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ದೇಹದ ತೂಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ರಾಶಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನ್ ಲಿವಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೋ ವಿತ್ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್, ಬೌಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಪರ್ವತಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮರಳುಗಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ದಿಬ್ಬಗಳಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಅಂತರಾಳದ ಚಲನೆಯಿಂದ, ಲಾವಾದ ಚಲನೆಯಿಂದ ಚಲಿಸ್ತವ. ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗ್ರೋ, ಬಟ್ what it's not living growth. Growth cannot be what defining property. ಹೌದಾ, ನಾವು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ, what in living organism, what it's a very important peculiar character ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Conditions when it is observed in living organism when explained. Okay, characteristic of it's a very important characteristic of a living organism ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. Then now we are going to discuss reproduction. What? Reproduction. Then organism reproduce to progeny similar to them. Okay, in the reproduction we see two types of a reproduction. That's asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Then unicellular organisms like amoeba, bacteria, chlamydomonas multiply and increase in number. That's asexual reproduction. Okay, this is also defined as a growth. So it is a what unclear with the usage of two terms, growth and reproduction. Okay, in where unicellular. Many organisms do not reproduce. Example, what? Mules, sterile workers, bees, infertile human couples. Okay, these not able to reproduce. Hence what reproduction defining characteristic of, it's what reproduction is a defining characteristic of living. But whatever the mules, sterile workers of bee, infertile humans, what they are living, but they show the different characteristic of a living organism: consciousness, response to stimuli, like these characters they show. Hence reproduction defining characteristic of living organism. Okay, hence living what reproduction defining characteristic of living organism. Non-living do not reproduce. For example, in amoeba, unicellular organization, that's one cell turns into, it's called as a division. Okay, one turns into two, two turns into four. Then hydra, spore formation. Then sweet potato root is a reproductive organ. It's a what vegetative type of a reproduction. In human beings, what male and female gametes undergo a fertilization and they reproduce. Next characteristic of living organism, that's a metabolism. Okay, we see there are two types of what are two stages of metabolism, that's anabolism and catabolism. We already discussed. All organisms are made up of chemicals. Okay, some organisms made up of a small amount of chemicals, some organisms made of a big amount of chemicals. Chemicals are biomolecules which are made and changed to other molecules. Conversion reactions of these molecules Conversion reactions of these molecules are called metabolic reactions. For example, carbohydrates, lipids, whatever they converted into simple forms, those are called as what? Metabolic reactions. Sum total of all chemical reactions, whatever they occur in our body or occur in our organism, those are called as a metabolic activities, and the process is called as a metabolism. Non-living or non-metabolism. Non-living, whatever the organism, they are non-living. In those organisms there is no metabolism. Metabolic reactions are demonstrated outside the body in a cell-free system. Example, test tube, in vitro fertilization is neither living or non-living. Metabolism, defining feature of living organism, and hence a cellular organization of a body. It's the defining feature of life form. Example, photosynthesis, it's anabolism. Cellular respiration, catabolism. Okay, photosynthesis, the environmental carbon absorbed by plant leaves, whatever the stomata present on leaves, they absorb carbon dioxide. Roots absorb water with the also minerals and some nutrients. Okay, in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, what they produce? They produce glucose C6H12O6 with liberation of oxygen and with the giving out small amount of water. That's a photosynthesis. It's called as a anabolism. Then cellular respiration. Whatever the plant produced the food, that food is used by heterotroph C6H12O6 glucose, that is used by other organisms at the time of a cellular respiration. Okay, in presence of oxygen, glucose gives a carbon dioxide, water, and out a certain amount of energy. Okay, that's called as a catabolism. Then consciousness, living organisms sense their surrounding or environment stimuli, physical, chemical, or biological. Organisms sense through sense organs. What are sense organs? Okay, eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin. Plants, what? Light, water, temperature, organism, and pollutants. Okay, for these things, okay, they response for the stimulus created in environment. Then photo period influence reproduction, seasonal breeders, plants and animals. Okay, then human aware of himself, that is self consciousness. They have self consciousness because hot objects are not touched. Okay, whenever we keep our footsteps on spines, we remove our footsteps. These are what? Consciousness defining property of a living organism. Next, diversity of living world. Biodiversity, term used to refer to the number of varieties of plants and animals in a region on earth. It's called as a biodiversity. I already told for you number of species known, 1.7 to 1.8 million on earth. Okay, in those 1.25 million, what? uh, mm, organisms are there, and zero point 0.5 million what plants are there. Need for a classification. Living organisms are classified into categories so that they could be named, remembered, studied, and understood very easily. That's why there is a need for classification. Need is to standardize naming organism. So organism named in same in all over world. Okay, that's why it's called as a nomenclature. A particular what system they adopted, that's a nomenclature. Need to standardize naming organism. So organism named same in all over world. That's why nomenclature system is adopted. Nomenclature, scientific name to all known organisms. plant based on principles and criteria of ICBN, Indian Code of Botanical, sorry, Indian, I should told for you, sorry, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. Then animals, International Code for Zoological Nomenclatures. Then scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. Then binomial nomenclature was first introduced by Carlos Linnaeus. He is called as a father of classification. He published the book Systema Naturae. The scientific naming of an organism used two words, that's called as a binomial nomenclature. Each name two components, generic name and a specific epithet or species name. Then rules for nomenclature we already discussed. What the whatever the two words are there, those are written in Latin. If you are writing handwritten, what scientific name, then you have to write in italics. First, what word represents a genus, and second word, what represents a species, that is specific epithet. Both word of a botanical name should be underlined separately when handwritten, and italics is printed. First word is denoting genus, starts with a capital letter, and specific epithet. Species name should be start with a small letter. Then taxonomy, process of a classification based on characteristic of living organism. It's called taxonomy. Okay, then external and internal structure, cell structure, development, ecological information, basis of what, these are the basis of modern taxonomy. What are the basis of modern taxonomy? They ask in exam. External and internal structures, cell structure, development, ecological information. These are the basis of modern taxonomy. Human being is what interested to know different organism and diversity along with their relationship with other systematics. Systematic. It deals with the classification of organisms based on their diversities and relationship among them. Taxonomic hierarchy. It is the arrangement of a various taxa of a classification. Taxonomical study of all known organisms will be led to development of a categories such as kingdom, phylum, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. Okay, then species is a basic unit. Species. Species. A group of individuals having a fundamental similarities and successful reproduction takes place among themselves. Distinct morphological difference is there between two closely related species. Example, Panthera tigris, then Panthera leo, Salanum tubersum, okay, then Solanum nigrum. Okay, these are what different scientific name, what different organisms scientific names. Okay, in this, which tigris or leo or tubersum nigrum, these are specific epithet or what species names. Okay, then Panthera and Solanum, it's a generic name. Next higher level of taxon. Genus may have more than one specific epithet represent a different organism. Represent what? Different organism. Then what we are going to discuss, the genus. Genera are aggregate of a closely related species. Group of related species with more characters in common than species of the other genera. Example, Panthera leo, then Pardus, Panthera pardus, it's a leopard. Panthera tigris. Then animals which comes under genus Panthera shares several common features and different what differs from genus Felis. Okay. Then potato, Solanum tubersum, and brinjal, Solanum what melogena. These are what some similarities. Okay, some similarities. Then family. It has a group of related what genera with less number of similarities, characterized on the basis of vegetative and what a reproductive feature. Example, family Solanaceae includes genera Solanum, then what Petunia and what Datura. scientific names. What very less we pronounce this. Family Felicidae. Okay, includes genera Panthera, Leo, tiger, leopard, and Felis. Felidae. Then order. Assemblies of families which exhibit few similar characters. Similar characters will be less in number. Plants family. What what Canul ulacea, Canul ulacea, or what Solanaceae. Order poly polynomial less polynomials, polymonials. Okay. Animals family Felidae and Canidae. Order carnivore. Then class, it is includes all related orders having a few similar characters. Example class Mammalia includes order Primata, monkey, gorilla, gibbon, and carnivora. Okay. Class Dicotyledinae, dicotyledons. Okay, includes order what poly what monials and sapindales. Mango. Phylum, it's a phylum or a division. It includes class with a very few similarities. Phylum Chordata includes classes fishes, amphibia, reptilia, aves, and mammalia. Due to common feature presence of notochord and dorsal hollow neural system. Division Angiospermae include classed dicotyledone and monocotyledone. Kingdom, highest category of taxonomy. Animals kingdom Animalia, plants kingdom Plantae, and whatever the other things are there, that for example Monera, Protista, plant what Monera, Protista, Mycota. Okay, Mycota all are fungus maximum. Then taxonomical aids, we already discussed in previous clips. Taxonomical studies of various species of plants, animals, and other organisms, known bioresources and diversity. Studies require a correct classification and identification, collection of actual specimen of plants and animals, fundamental to studies and essential for training in systematics. Specimens are gathered, stored, or preserved with information for further studies. Taxonomical aids are herbarium, botanical garden, museum, zoological parks. Then what herbarium, related to herbarium we had already discussed. Herbarium is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried and pressed and preserved on sheets. Specimens, description on a herbarium sheet, label of a date and place of collection. Okay, English, local and botanical name, family and a collector name. Quick referral system for taxonomic studies. Botanical garden, specialized gardens having a collection of living specimens, plants grown for identification purpose. Plants, what plant is labeled with botanical or scientific name and family. Museum have a collections of preserved plant and animal specimens. Study and reference, set up in educational institutes. Specimen preserved in containers and jars in preservative solutions. Plants and animals dry specimens. Insect boxes after collecting, killing, pinning. Large animals stuffed and preserved. Skeletons of animals. The next taxonomical aid is zoological park. Zoological parks are the places where wild animals are kept in protected under human care. Learn food habits and behavior conditions are preserved, provided as animals' natural habitat. Keys. Key is another taxonomical aid used for identification of plants and animals based on the similarities and dissimilarities based on contrasting character, generally in pair couplet. Represent choice between two opposite options, accepting one and rejecting another. Each statement lead separate taxonomic key. Each taxonomic category like family, genus, species, identification purpose, analytical in nature. Then taxonomic is keys. Taxonomic key is a device that what biologists use to figure out what unknown organism actually are. The key is made up of so that your answer a series of questions about the characteristic and an answer is narrowed down. Okay, for example, what dry skin. Okay, dry skin in salamander, it's not present. but in lizard, okay, yes, okay. Then here, a lizard and a tiger, gorilla and human beings, okay, dry skin is there. That's why yes. Then hairs are not present on lizard, but they are present on tiger, gorilla and human beings. That's why yes. Then opposable thumbs are not present in tiger, but they are present in gorilla and where human beings. Bipedal, whatever the organism walk through their two legs, that's called as a bipedal. Then gorilla is a what, four limbs also and hind limbs also it used to walk. That's why it's not bipedal. Human beings are bipedal, that's why yes, and gorilla for no. These are the what, taxonomical keys. Okay, up to now we discussed what, the living world, uh, in two different formats. I already prepared one video based on the specimens. Those are what more diagram are placed in that video. And now whatever the I discussed clip, this clip what helpful for your examination purpose. Hopefully these are useful for you. Thank you so much.